So if you've been homeschooling for quite a while, you may have come across these three terms: copywork, dictation, and narration. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about what all of those things mean and how you can use it in your homeschool. My name is Sophia, I'm the one in 1.3, welcome to the family. So the content that I give out is basically down to home education and life as a single parent of 3. So please like and subscribe if you want more content about curriculum based things and tips and tricks to help you with your homeschool. Okay, let's have a look at copywork and explain what it is. Okay, so copywork is the act of copying down what you see in front of you. So what it is, the parent or the adult will give the child a source text and the child will copy it down letter by letter, word by word, sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph. You decide how much you will give your child to do based on what they can handle, and you can start copywork from a very young age. So in the UK schools, like in nursery and reception, what we tend to do is allow children to learn how to write their names from a very early age. What I used to do with my nursery children is that I would laminate their names. I put their names on A4 paper, laminate it, give them a marker, and they would copy over the letters within their name. That was one strategy. Another strategy I had was to give them a name card with their name written on it, and then another piece of paper where they can copy down what they see in front of them. And this allows the child to be able to concentrate on the shape of the letter, how the letters are formed, and get pride of knowing that they've written their name. The more they practice doing this skill, the more that they would learn each symbol or each character of the letters in their name, and then eventually they'd learn how to write their whole name. This also brings out excellent penmanship, where the child is good at forming the letter, and you can help the child at several levels of their writing to form the letter correctly, to hold their pencil correctly, or comfortably really. And that would help them through the action of copying out work. It also builds stamina through them copying out their letters and knowing how to hold the pen. And you can also see how much a child can write. So copywork is used at the very early stages of learning how to write, but it can be used quite late within the homeschool community. Children may be using copywork up until maybe 8 years old, 9 years old, even sometimes later. Sorry, let me correct myself. You can use copywork for any level. Even as you get older into adulthood, you may copy down large text like speeches, or when you're writing down revision notes on flashcards. Learning how to copy is a very good skill. Even in my class, when I write the date on the board, children have to copy the date down as well. It allows them to see when to use capitalization. They learn about English grammar and sentence structure, and there's so much more embedded in copywork. Okay, so let's move on to dictation. So dictation is the same sort of thing, but it's a little bit harder than copywork because they have to picture the words in their mind. So a sentence will be read out to the child and the child will have to write down exactly what they hear. Now this allows them to form the sentence correctly based on what they've learned already from copywork, where they get to think about where the capital letters would be, where would the comma be, where would the full stop be, and they've got to try to figure it out based on what they hear. So with copywork, the way that you do this with your child is that you'd call out a sentence to your child. So you could say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The child will repeat the sentence back to you. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Then you as a parent will say to the child, is there anything that you need to remember when writing out this sentence? The child might remember that every sentence needs a capital letter, every sentence ends with a full stop, and you might also show them that God has to have a capital letter as well. You as a parent at this stage could also spell out all the words for the child to write them down. So in the beginning, the word beginning, you may spell the word out for your child and help them to spell it correctly so that they know exactly what's happening when they're writing it, and they're having to listen for the instruction as well. And the third one is narration. Now narration can be quite tricky as a child has to tell back something that they've heard or something that was read to them. It requires excellent listening skills and the ability to summarize. So what would happen is you would read something to your child and then you'll say to them, narrate back to me. So the child now has to pick up the most important facts and tell you what they remember from it. They can think about the word summarize as arise. So that means they're giving some information based on what they've read. It's not a test, so if your child has problems with narration, you can basically ask them questions to help prompt their mind. So you would just prompt them a little bit by saying, okay, who was in the story? What did they do? Things like that, and it will help the child to think, oh yeah, I remember now. But the main thing is that they're not giving all the information about what they've read, but they're summarising it and giving you some of the main things that they've taken from that passage. It doesn't have to be a whole passage, it could be something quite small for the child of a younger age, but as they get older you would increase the information that you're putting into their brain. When you move on to narrating stories, try to keep to the different elements of stories, such as the main characters, the settings, the conflict, the plot, the climax, the resolution, things like that. Try to keep to a theme, make sure that they include all those parts in the narration as they get better at it. So here are some tips for dictation. So you dictate a sentence to your child, read the sentence out or say the sentence out twice to the child, then ask them some questions. For example, is there a noun in the sentence? Is there a verb in the sentence? Does it begin with a capital letter? Does it have an end mark? What type of end mark does it have? Remember that end marks, there can be 3 types of end marks, not just full stops. You've got the exclamation mark, the full stop and the question mark. Does it make complete sense? You can also ask them, is there any proper nouns within this text? They should understand that a proper noun is a special naming word and needs a capital letter, and if there is one in the sentence, they need to know when to change it to have a capital letter in there. And then when they finish editing, you can ask them, have they spelt all the words correctly? Have they applied all those grammar rules to the writing? So there's a few questions you can ask your child when they're dictating.